Hi guys, Editor Dan here. A very quick message before we start. I apologise for the aspect ratio. I recorded the wrong way round. Fantastic. And also, my camera died mid-session, so I apologise for that. It will be fixed going forward. But thanks for your patience. Enjoy. So, you're thinking about getting into darts, or you have been playing darts, and you want to know, what does 2 years of gameplay look like? What does 2 years of practice look like? Well, I'm going to talk about this in this video because I think it's important to set expectations for yourself when you start playing, and it's easy to assume when you start playing a game like darts that I'm going to put these down because they're quite loud in my hand. It's very easy to assume when you start playing darts that everything's just going to be really easy, or at the same time everything's unattainable. And I kind of fall into some of those mindsets sometimes, and I wanted to make this video just to kind of talk about what I've been through in the 2 years of playing, where I'm at right now, and kind of just a rough guideline for where you could probably expect to be if you started playing. You might be better than me after 2 years. You might be worse than me after 2 years. There's probably going to be people who fall into both categories, and both are fine. If you're watching this and you think I'm crap after 2 years, that's honestly fine. I think the first thing to talk about, and I think the biggest thing that you're going to notice, and the most obvious thing, is inconsistency. So there's going to be days where you're going to get on the dartboard and you're going to throw 100, 100, 100, 140, 140, 81, 100. Fantastic. And then there's going to be days where you can't hit a treble 20 to save your life. And they are very frustrating. They can be discouraging, I would say. Like when you can't hit a treble and it's just 26, 41, 41, 45. I used to call it the 45 penitentiary because it just feels like you're just like trapped and you can't escape these 45s. It's like it feels inevitable at times when you're playing. You're just gonna slip one dart into the 5 or the 1, and then you're just gonna be either side of the wire on the treble 20, and you're just never gonna hit your trebles anymore. And then you'll go through bursts of fantastic play, and it's all great again. And that's the game we play. And I think the idea with time, and I think this is what I've experienced myself, is that ideally we want those bad bursts to be shorter and we want the good bursts to be longer. But ultimately you're still going to go through streaks. It's just the way darts is. You're going to be throwing good one day, you're going to be throwing bad the next day. And it's not even just the results. Sometimes the throw can feel bad for a day. It especially feels bad when you're warming up usually. And then, like I say, throughout the day it can feel great. And then there's another day where you might just feel horrible. The throw might feel terrible and you think to yourself, what am I doing? And that's natural and that's fine. The next point that I wanted to talk about is kind of similar, but I think it ties in quite well to what I've just discussed with the inconsistency, but doubles and scoring. What I found throughout my time playing darts is that there's going to be times where doubles are really strong for you, but your scoring might not be so good. And there's going to be times where your scoring feels great, but your doubles aren't so good. And it's uncommon, I would say, for those two things to line up. Sometimes they will. Sometimes you'll just throw a great leg and you'll check out straight away. But it would be nice if it happened more often. And unfortunately, that doesn't tend to be the case. Generally, there's going to be days where your scoring is fantastic and you're throwing really good darts, and there's going to be days where you're not. But the doubles might be great, and you're just checking out everything. And you might throw 45 average, and then you hit a double straight away. So, yeah, that's something to expect, and I think it's natural for a lot of players, at least for me, is that fluctuation between your scoring and your doubles. It's like a race in a way. Like, your doubles might improve, and then your scoring might start lagging behind, and then you improve your scoring, and then it's your doubles that are lagging behind. And it's just this constant sort of trying to improve yourself by sort of working both of those two things up. I know they are not the only components of a good darts player, or a good darts game, but they are obviously two very important parts of being a good darts player. And yeah, I've worked on those quite a lot, and I still have days where either one will lag behind. Currently, for me, I think my doubles are worse, but I think last week my doubles were better, and now it's my scoring that seems to be shit. My doubles that seem to be shit. I think the next thing to be aware of and to expect is periods of stagnation, and that is fine. It's okay to stagnate from time to time. There's going to be periods where you put a lot of practice hours in and you try and make changes. I'm going to say changes, nothing too radical, but you try and make tweaks and adjustments here and there. And it's either going to take time to bed changes in, or there's going to be natural plateaus in your progression. And that's okay, once again. And these are the things you have to fight through. And I think that's why part of the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I think when some people play darts or they do anything really like darts, it can be very easy to kind of do it, to get some good results and feel great, and then you hit a plateau and you get stuck in a rut and it feels miserable. And I've been there in things that aren't just darts. There's other skills and games and whatever it may be, where you feel like you just have hit a wall and you're not going anywhere. And I think my time playing darts has shown me that those plateaus, even though they don't feel like it in the moment, they are temporary. And you will eventually push past them. But you just need to hang in there and keep going and keep plodding away and keep chipping away, consistency. And that's an interest. Excuse me, that's an important thing to remember, because if you don't remember that, you're going to get discouraged, you're going to stop playing, and it's going to make things worse. Your confidence is going to drop, your morale's going to drop. So I would just bear in mind that plateaus are natural and they are okay. You are learning, even if it doesn't come out in the results per se. Okay, so I'm going to try something here. Hopefully it works, but I'm going to try shooting my throw. So I'm going to have two camera angles. We're going to see how this works. It might be a bit of a mess. I apologise if it is. I am getting another camera, so hopefully this whole setup can improve. But for now, this is what we've got. So I'm going to throw some darts. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my throw. Whoa. I don't think that is getting the wrist, so let me rotate with it. So that first dart was brutal, but the second two, or the last two, were good. Oh. See, I think one of the things that's an idea that springs to mind straight away, but one of the things that you do start to do as you play more is you start to feel when a throw is bad. Whereas maybe when you first get started, every throw just kind of feels the same. So for me, just then, that third dart especially felt horrible. I kind of picked it out of my hand really badly, and I was really gripping it really far forward, which is, sorry, just had to edit something out of the video there. But yeah, so I was gripping the dart really far forward. Typically my grip is a bit like this, and this, you know, I kind of tend to grab it like that. Anyway, let's carry on. There'll be more to talk about, I'm sure. So those darts felt good. I was getting a nice wrist flick, and I think that's one of the things I've really been trying to develop recently, is flicking the wrist a lot more. There's a lot of like, there's many different moving parts to a darts throw, and the wrist is something that I think I've been lagging behind on, or an underdeveloped part of my game, I should say. So for me, I'm really trying to focus on kind of when I throw the dart now, I'm trying to get that, you know, maybe not so much that, but like kind of like that kind of is what I'm looking for, ideally. There's lots of videos on YouTube about what the follow through should look through and everything. Matt Edgar talks a lot about the follow through being a byproduct of good mechanics, and I think the wrist flick is just one of the things that I need to improve. That's one of my mechanics that I need to improve. So that's what I've been trying to focus on recently, and that's what I'm trying to bed into my game. And that's something that you're going to do throughout your darts game. If you're serious about your darts, you're probably going to be critically looking at your throw and trying to improve it as best you can. 41. So I'm going to throw some more darts and stop yapping so much, just so you can see what my throw's looking like. Got a Robin Hood there. Yeah, I keep going through these stems. It's not good. That was a poor visit. The first dart, I think it was the first dart, felt really bad, or the second dart. See, even throughout a visit, I'm talking about inconsistency in this video. Even throughout a visit, there's inconsistency, and that's one of the hardest things about improving at darts, is trying to get the throw exactly the same every time. And I think that even in 3 darts, even in one visit, you can kind of throw very differently throughout that leg, or throughout that visit, I should say. So for me just then, I threw the first 2 and I realised my wrist is not doing what I want it to do. So I changed it on the last one. Not something you probably really should do, but I changed my wrist to try and get more of a flick on the wrist. Try and get that sort of, try and get that. And that's what we need to improve. Oh. So like today, for example, I've only been playing an hour and I'm not playing very well. See? Ironically, I think the worst dart was the 3rd one. Another bad visit. Throughout my time playing, I think, or recently I should say, like, and when I say recently, I mean the last 6 months, low ones have been an issue for me, and yeah, sometimes they creep in. So I think my average in this video is probably about 42. It's been pretty shit. Oh, see what I mean? And this is how it goes sometimes when you play darts. Sometimes it's fantastic. Let's talk numbers while we're on this subject, because what does 2 years of playing look like? What's my average been like in 2 years? Well, we'll talk about that now. So when I started playing, it's actually harder than you think to throw and talk. When I started playing, I was around about a 40 average, and that, I think I was around 40 average. It went up initially, and then it kind of went down. And the reason it goes down, and you're probably aware of this already, but when you play darts, you kind of work your way into the 20s. So you're going to have more 5s than 1s as opposed to 12s and 18s, and it's inevitable that when you first start playing, and that's another thing to expect. But I'm bad for these low 1s today. When you first start playing, you're going to eliminate the 12s and 18s, which is good. But unfortunately, more 5s, more 1s, average is going to drop. So that's something that happened to me, and it's going to happen to you probably if you've just started playing. Okay, is this? Okay, yeah. So it's going to happen to you, and I think my average kind of crept up to around 48 or something, 50 maybe in the first year. I've now been playing 2 years, and it's sitting at around 60 now. My average is around 60, my 3 dart average. I'll try and get some footage. I don't know how easy it is to get footage of my darts counter matches against a darts bot, but generally I'll see if I can do that. If not, just take my word on it. If I'm playing poorly, for me now, I'm averaging around 55 to 58 in a game. If I'm playing average, okay, I'm averaging around 60, 61, 62. If I'm playing well and good for me, I'm averaging somewhere in the 66 to 70 range, I would say. And that's 2 years of playing, and I would say playing quite a lot. This board is in my kitchen, so I can come down and play. I work from home as well, so I do get practicing throughout the day, 15, 20 minutes here and there. On average, probably around 2 hours a day. Not every day for the last 2 years I've played 2 hours, but especially in the last few months, I've really kind of cranked it up and tried to push beyond where I was at. Let's get a few more darts in. Okay, so the scoring camera has died. So let's just talk anyway. So yeah, my average is around about 60 now, and if I'm playing well, it goes up to around 70. But I'm not always playing well, and generally I'm playing closer to that 60 point. I'm playing against a dart bot on level 8, and I would say I'm around 50-50. Most games are kind of like, I tend to play best of 5 legs. Most games kind of are around 3-2. Sometimes I win 3-0, sometimes the dart bot wins 3-0. And that ties into kind of the fluctuations that I talked about earlier in the video, where there's going to be days where things are good, and there's going to be days where you're just wiping the floor with a darts bot. And then there's going to be days where the darts bot just obliterates you, and you feel like you're playing against Luke Littler. Even though it clearly isn't. Even though it's a level 8 dart bot that is supposed to be averaging 55 to 60. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. And that's fine. And like I say, that's just how it's going to be for the first 2 years. You're not going to unlock a secret that is going to make you jump up 25 points. You're not going to... I'm trying to think of some sort of inverse of that, like negatively. But you're not going to have these massive, huge jumps. You're going to kind of climb probably after that initial sort of variance with the 12s and 18s being eliminated. You're probably going to slowly climb, and that's fine. And I think most people are in that camp, unless someone has really good transferable skills and just has a natural sort of, and I say natural, it's transferable skills. You know, Matt talks about this, and it's true. I don't think people are just born able to play darts, but some people do have skills that translate well into darts, and some people may have that, and a lot of people won't. A lot of people will have to grind, and a lot of people will have to just keep chipping away and trying to get a bit better every day. And when I say a bit better, I mean a tiny bit better every day. And that's what I try to do. That's what I think you should try to do. And just stick at it. I think that's the most important thing. I will try to get more videos done with more footage of me throwing the darts. I wanted to do that today. Unfortunately, I ended up yapping a bit, and then the camera died on my other phone. So, rip. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some instructive value out of this video. I'm not an expert. I'm just someone who's learning to play darts, and I just wanted to share my experiences and see if anyone finds it useful. If you do let me know down wherever. And yeah, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.